Good morning. It's been so long since I've done a live, so I apologize for that. I want to talk to you about something that is a little bit different than topics that I normally address on this channel, but I'm going to bring it back around to the reason why you can't break free from either the current narcissist that you're with and the narcissistic abuse, or why you seem to always attract the same people, even though you feel that you've changed a lot of things about yourself, or you've gotten yourself around new people or things like that. Why do these things always seem to continue to happen? Okay, so let's get started on that. I want to start from the very foundation level. Everything in life is built off of a pattern, literally everything. There's something called sacred geometry, which is the concept that every living thing starts from the same pattern and it multiplies its own self. So you can look at every living thing will at some point incorporate into it the seed of life. This is a geometric shape, a pattern. Everything in life is meant to do something that can reproduce itself. Okay, great. I'm sorry. I'm reading a comment. I'm so glad that this is going to help you. So again, this seed of life is a geometric pattern, and it goes out and replicates itself. For example, when a baby is being made, the initial cells come together, they reproduce themselves, and they split and they split and they split. This will form the pattern of the seed of life, which I'm talking to you about, and it will eventually, go and do its thing, which will create a human. Every single thing in life is this way, okay? Every single thing in life is meant to have a set path and do it again and again and again, and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So when we take a look at, let me show you a picture really quick to help illustrate this a little bit better. When we take a look at even the planets do a pattern, right? We know that the planets go around one another, they go around the sun, and they are forming specific patterns. I want to show you the pattern of Earth and Venus. This center one is Earth and Venus, okay, going around each other 7 times. This is the pattern that they make. They're going on a set path, each of them individually, and yet they intertwine. Their paths intersect, and they come together, and then they split apart, and then they come together, and they make this beautiful pattern. And everything in life is this. And if you can understand that everything in life is a pattern, it would be easy to break a pattern. If I always think about something one way, then I will continue to think about it, that thing, that way, until something comes in that has a stronger force and rewrites the pattern of whatever it is that I'm thinking. Whatever I'm thinking has its roots in a belief that I have. So this could be a true thing, this could be a false belief, it doesn't matter. The reason that I'm thinking it is because I believe it to be true, or I have a belief system that supports something that I'm thinking, or is against something that I'm thinking. Things work this way. This is why curses work. It's because it was something that was done over and over. You came into agreement with it. You think, I'll never be able to get out of this situation. This is how my life will always be. You come into agreement with it, and you continue down your own pattern of life. You are continuing to make the same choices over and over and over again, no matter what your circumstance is. The same thing is true with blessings, right? If you believe that no matter where you go, things are going to work out in your favor, that you are always going to be able to make friends, that you're always going to be able to fit in, that your business is going to succeed there, that your you're going to fit into that environment. That's what's going to come because you already have that pattern built into you. You already feel confident that, you will be accepted by the community that you move into, and that everybody is going to want to spend time with you, and that it's going to be a blessing to you and to others. When it comes to why you continue to find yourself around narcissists is because your pattern has gone into you're making a pattern like Earth and Venus are making around one another. You're not just in their orbit, you are making your life pattern intersect with theirs. And you are accepting them into you're allowing your paths to continuously be crossed because you are in the same pattern. You're not the same person, right? There's two different ones, but you're thinking about things the same way. And I have talked about this on the channel before, actually, about why you need to have nothing in common with a narcissist, because if you have something in common, that's the open door to allowing them in, which is why in my coaching, I never teach people how to manipulate a narcissist back. I teach you to get out of the manipulation system completely. Because if you're trying to do what they are already doing, number one, they're always going to be better at it than you because they're actually a narcissist, okay? This is Earth trying to become Venus and vice versa. You're not ever going to do that. And second of all, it's a lower form of patterns. There are many other dimensions that we cannot see. We say we have 4 dimensions here, right? The 3 that we live in and plus time. But there's so many other dimensions, and you don't understand how your behaviors are affecting those other things, right? Chaos theory is exactly this. It states that there's nothing that happens it's the butterfly effect, right? Nothing happens in a vacuum. Everything else is affected. If I have a very strong pattern of who I am, of what I do, of what I accept, of what I don't accept, of how to manage everything within my life, my time, my energy, all of the things that are mine, somebody else's weaker pattern is not going to be able to just intersect with mine and take me off of my course. So this is why I don't teach you to do what the narcissist is doing unless you want to get what the narcissist has already gotten. And that's the struggle, I think, for most people, is understanding why patterns work for some people and why they don't. So what seems to always be working for the narcissist, well, that's great, but he or she is at a level that is far less than where they should be at. That pattern will only work for people who are down here. Because up here you have to have a completely different pattern, and which has to do with everything, right? When I say pattern, I'm talking about your mindset, the way that you think, not just what you think, the way that you think about things. You have to change the pattern of how you eat, sleep, who you hang out with, how you take care of your physical body. Everything needs to change up here because your level of life, your quality of life is so much different up here. So lots of people wonder, why am I keep attracting a narcissist? Level up, make a different pattern in your life. You will be on a different level, and it will be, if a narcissist does come into your path, I've talked about this before, you can't control that. You can't control whether you become a target of narcissistic abuse, but you can control whether you are a victim of it. And when you have a very strong pattern, it's easy to see that thing is not going to serve me. I'm ignoring it. I'm not listening to it. I'm not entertaining it. I'm moving forward with my pattern, which again should start at a place and continue to grow and get stronger and bigger as you continue on that pattern. There's, without giving you too much of a science lesson in this video, there's something in life called fractals. Fractals are something small and then made bigger and bigger and bigger, right, of that same thing. This is the principle of as above, so below, okay? So look at the Look at the tree roots, for example. That type of structure, that type of pattern that they make when they are growing underneath the ground is similar to what rivers look like from up above. Right? And it's similar to how your brain synapses look too. So those are all fractals of one another. Everything is a pattern in life, every single thing. This is what I'm trying to explain to you right now, is that you will not ever come across something that isn't a pattern. Okay? This goes for anything. Okay, let me talk really quickly about physical pain in your body. You want to know why there's physical pain in your body? Because there's a pattern that needs to get interrupted. Everything in life, everything is a pattern. And so finding out what the root of that pattern is can help you get back on course, can help you course correct. Okay, let me quick read comments, and then I'm going to continue on this for just a second. I had to change. Yes. Yeah, exactly. You have to change the pattern on everything. So where your energy is going to, how you're spending your time, how you're treating yourself. Absolutely. That's first and foremost too. You know, there's a lot of misconception about what love is out there. And you can't give away what you don't have. And you can think that you love yourself because you seem to have a lot of friends, or you think your self-esteem, is pretty high because you like yourself or you like what you're doing or whatever. That doesn't mean that you love yourself. Love means that I can see when something is toxic for me, and even if it would hurt another person for me to speak up, I need to speak up first, because I need to love myself first before I can ever give it away. So the even that is a pattern. That's the way you understand a word, the way you understand or implement a word needs to change. A lot of things have gotten off of their course. When you correct that thing, you start making the correct pattern. This is exactly what happens, by the way, in your DNA, in your RNA, when you see issues such as cancer, and especially generational cancer issues. This is the DNA not replicating itself correctly. Everything in life is meant to go on a set pattern. And if you can find out where your life is not on a pattern, it's easy then to correct it. Okay? Because a lot of times it's not ignorance. I know a lot of times people think like, well, I just didn't know that. But actually there was a root way before ignorance that was there that you did know about, right? So if for example, you are aware that you were raised in a not safe home, you know, things were lacking there, whatever. Okay, so if you have that awareness, then that will tell me already that you may not know how to appropriately love yourself because you were never demonstrated that in your home, in your childhood, in your family structure. And so you would need to correct that first, that pattern first, before you would try to go out and correct, why am I hanging out with these people? Why do I always seem to date the same person? Those type of things. Because the actual root, you're trying to address a pattern when it's already exponentially growing up here. What you need to do is correct the root of where that pattern first began. This is the reason why so many people can do something for a short while, a few weeks, whatever, a few days, but they can't sustain it because it's actually not they didn't ever correct the pattern. They're trying to correct, this amount of the pattern, but they address the root of where that pattern originated from. And so you can't just rewrite one part of the pattern that you see now is an issue. Okay, it's an issue that I have disloyal friends, or I seem to keep dating a narcissist or whatever. You're trying to erase that without actually looking at why am I doing that and changing the pattern from there. The root of everything, which is what I was talking about when everything living creates the flower of life, the seed of life at some point. That's where you change the pattern. You change the pattern there, you can change the pattern in whatever area you find yourself struggling with. Take a look. Let this be in the forefront of your mind for a little while. And next time you're with your friends, they'll tell you what their patterns are. If you listen to their words, what they talk about, what they are speaking out of their mouth, what their dreams are. All of these things tell you about what their patterns are in their mind. They tell you exactly how is their brain structured? What do those neural pathways look like? I can't see them physically with my eyes, but I can tell you exactly what type of patterns are going on. I can tell you exactly what they believe, exactly what their belief systems are, because they're telling me with their words. You can't speak anything out of your mouth without thinking first. I know that sometimes we say, that's not true, I spoke without thinking. You spoke without consciously thinking, but meanwhile, your non-conscious mind was thinking that thought the entire time. It just happened to come out without you consciously catching it first. So, in other words, you are trying to interrupt a pattern that has a root much deeper than the one that you think you want to. I need to start thinking before I'm speaking. Okay, that is actually not the issue. What are you thinking about is the issue. That's the actual place where the pattern is going to come out. So if you can really start to consider every single thing in life is a pattern, you'll be able to see healthy people from not healthy people, whether they're a narcissist or not. And quite honestly, I've said this before on the channel, like narcissists, yes, they're extremely damaging and they're really toxic, and all of those things are true, but that you shouldn't live, your quality of life should not determine on whether or not I can spot a narcissist or not. Can I spot great people that are supposed to be in my life versus really great people that aren't supposed to be in my life? At least not in this season in my life. Can I have that type of awareness? And that's really where I want my viewers to kind of start thinking higher, thinking long-term, thinking the actual absolute best way for you to be living, not just surviving, not just not having a narcissist in your life or avoiding another narcissistic relationship that's so much lower than what you were created to live. And quite honestly, it's a misuse of who you are. Your being is being wasted that way. So instead of just trying to survive the situation that you're in, trying to get away from the narcissist, trying to never date a narcissist again, if you can start identifying these patterns that are within yourself, within your way of thinking, within your belief structure, within your the choices that you're making, choices, words, all of that stuff come from a belief system. If you can start doing that, your healing time is going to be, first of all, accelerated beyond measure, because it's easy when you can see that you are actually in control of all of the things that happen in your life, who you're connected to, where you live, what you do for work. All of that is in your control. Everything is in your life, is yours to do with what you want. And if you think it isn't, that's a belief system that you need to change. So if you can think of things in terms of patterns, then it's much easier for you to identify where in yourself you're still holding yourself back from having the ultimate goal that you're after at whatever stage in life you are. Maybe you're trying to get a different job or whatever. There's a pattern that just needs to get adjusted. It needs to get rewritten. It needs to be put back on the correct track so it can continue to make more of that pattern. You're going to continue to get more of what you already have if you're already on a pattern. So that's the reason why you keep attracting narcissists, why you keep doing it, because you're going to have more of what you believe, because that's where all of the patterns originate from. There's a reason you believe that you should be attracting narcissists, or that you will always attract narcissists. There's a reason why you're thinking that way. And if you can get to the root of that, you can start changing and shifting the trajectory of your life and the type of patterns that you're making in the meantime. Nothing happens in a vacuum, even in your life. So if you think, oh, well, I have a great job and I can pay my bills on time, but I can't seem to get this one area of my life, doing what it should be doing. That will eventually trickle into every other area of your life. So the sooner you can catch it, you can go to the root much quicker and adjust it before it takes over the other areas of your life. I know that this can be a lot if you've never considered that every kind of thing is a pattern. If you don't know a lot about geometry or biology, I personally love this stuff so much. Everything is created this way. It's amazing. When you start studying sacred geometry and looking at the fractals that are in the universe that we know of right now, it's just incredible. And when you understand that this is how everything was made to reproduce itself, to replicate itself, and to make it to exceed itself, right? So wherever your starting point is, by the time you leave, your children should have a much greater floor to begin on than you did. And this is what patterns do when you're doing it correctly. This channel and my coaching is faith-based, and so I want to just tell you one other quick story about patterns. The parables of the talents in the Bible are all about patterns, replicating yourself, doing the fullness of whatever it is that you are supposed to be doing to the full extent. The guy with 10 talents came back and got 10 more. The guy with 5 talents, he came back and got 5 more. Why? Because he replicated himself. He replicated what he had. The guy with 1 was called wicked because he hid it. He hid what he had. Instead of thinking to himself, I have 1 talent, I can do a lot of stuff with this, he thought, this is worth nothing, I'm going to bury it. And there's a lot of people out there with that type of mindset who think, I'm not worth that much. I'm not going to try to push myself to my potential. I'm not going to try to do any kind of different thing with my life because I only have 1 talent and those people have 10 and those people have 5 and I've only got 1 and I'd better just bury it. That's the safe way to do it. You're going against the way that you were created to live. You're never going to have success when you do that because you're literally going against nature. Nature wants to create an environment. Everything wants to create homeostasis, the state of being in which it is the absolute best atmosphere for you to not only live, but also thrive in. And so everything in life is trying to get to a place of homeostasis. And so when you try to go against that and say, I'm not going to do that, I don't want to be fruitful, I don't want to multiply, I don't want to replenish the earth, you're going against the way that you were created. If you can understand patterns and that you're destined to do a pattern with your life, you're meant to I hope everybody can still see me. My computer is doing something. I'm just going to finish here really quick. I don't know. It started a new video on the other side. I hope I'm still on. I'll just finish here really quick. When you embrace that you are supposed to be doing this and accept that this is already within you, right? This isn't something that you have to strive to get. You already have this. You already come fully able to replicate yourself, to live your life to the fullest. You already come equipped that way. You don't need to go find, if only I could find this one person who could unlock that thing for me, or if I could, if I had X amount of dollars, then I'd be able to do whatever. It's already within you. How you get the outside things is determined by what you do with the inside things, because it's a pattern. Your external world will always reflect your internal world. If your internal world has problems, your external world will also have problems. It's a pattern. Everything it's okay. You can still see me? Okay, good. Yeah, I don't know even what happened. There's still another video happening on the other side of my computer. So, but yeah, everything is about a pattern. And so if you don't like something in your external world, find out what the belief is that you believe internally. And change the pattern. You will change your external world by changing your inner world. Isn't it great that you don't have to depend on the narcissist to leave your life, to leave you alone, to give you whatever it is that you want before your world can start to change? You push the narcissist out externally when your internal world is so full that it cannot contain the narcissist. Do you understand that? This is not about making the narcissist fit into your world. You don't want them there. You come up, the narcissist, as I said, they only work because they're on this level. Come up to a different level, get a different level. That's it. And then when you are up there, your pattern has so much space to be pushing out and to grow. There's no space for the narcissist there. And this is true of not just narcissism, by the way. This is true of any evil thing that would come to your life that you don't want in there. You don't have to. This is why people who can start a successful business can take a business that never was working before and figure out what the problem was and fix it and make that business successful. It's because they can see the pattern. They know what a successful pattern looks like, feels like, smells like, tastes like, all of that, and they're able to replicate it again, even if it's in a desperate state, right? Even if there's a lot of issues wrong with the business that they take over, maybe it's in debt, maybe it doesn't make money, whatever. The person who's in control of it will replicate themselves in whatever environment they're in. And so it doesn't actually matter if the environment isn't working. They come into the environment and the environment works. It's not about what's external. It's always about what's internal. So I was talking about this with a friend, and she said to me, you should do a YouTube video on that. And I said, I'm not ever doing a YouTube video on that because it's taken me a long time to understand patterns and to understand that everything in life is patterns. I mean, years to understand this. And now I can see them very fast. By the way, do you want to know why I'm a great life coach? And I say that unapologetically and unashamedly. It's because I can see your pattern. I can see exactly what pattern you're on, and I can see how to course correct it. Having a Ph.D. is great, right? And I understand a lot of people like that. But you know why I'm a good life coach? It's because I'm perceptive. It's because I can see what's going on and help you get back onto your correct course and help you replicate who you should be, not who the narcissist is trying to make you to be, the court system is trying to make you to be. So anyway, when you can understand patterns, you can literally not only change your life, you can change everybody else's life that you come into contact with. Yeah, so anyway, my friend says to me, you should do a video on this. I said, it took me way too long to figure it out. I'm not going to do a video on it. But then I was thinking about it, and it was like, you know what? This revelation is truly life-changing. And if you can get a hold of it, then in this 30-minute video, then good for you. Good for you. Go ahead, go change your life. That's because that's really what it's all about, is to make sure that you're living the highest level of your life that you can possibly have. You are not created to live lower than that. And so many people take what should be a season or even a lesson and they make it a lifestyle. And there's too many people doing that now. And so I hope that you can catch what I'm saying in this video and start seeing patterns and understand that there's somewhere within you that they originate in your belief system. Start changing it there and your external world will follow. So you guys, thanks so much for joining, and I will try to do lives a little bit more frequently. And anyway, on Friday, I have a really good video coming out. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and you'll see that Friday. And if you haven't already watched Rachel's, the first part of Rachel's testimony, it's amazing. Go watch it. Her second part comes out this coming Monday, and she will have a video coming out on my channel every Monday for the rest of this month. You can beat the narcissist in court. She's living proof of it. She's an INFJT. She beat the narcissist in court. She worked with me for over 1.5 years as a client, and she's becoming one of my affiliate coaches now. This is what it means to replicate yourself. Give what you have away. Do it in such a way that give what you have away to people, and you will make more of what you are. Okay? I'm super excited about Rachel, her story, her journey, her life. It's amazing. So go check that out and check out the video that I have coming out on Friday as well.